Hey guys, alright, I'm answering a question that was listed underneath of the question I just answered. It ties into the same thing. The question was, should I be having intimacy with my spouse if they are involved with somebody else? And I answered that question in the last video, and I'm going to pretty much answer the next question in the same manner. Well, first off, what I want to ask you is, how do you know that there is nobody else? Because that's one thing that none of us know. For instance, the Lord did not reveal to me that there was anybody else for 2.5 years. Okay, and something that's very common in this, it doesn't mean it's always the case, is there usually is somebody else that the enemy sends your spouse's way in order to deceive them. They're called counterfeits. So what I want to, and the counterfeits can also show up in so many ways, okay, but what I basically want to emphasize here is we never truly know. Only God knows, okay? And number two, even if they're not involved with somebody else, the best case scenario, you have to understand they're not operating with the fruits of the Spirit, okay? So what does the Lord say? The Lord says to stay away from evildoers, okay? So if you need some more insight on this, go to 1 Corinthians, where, Paul goes on to say all this, to stay away from evildoers. So when you're putting yourself around somebody, and especially being intimate with them, it doesn't matter if you're a wife or you're a husband or not, okay? The Lord can even call you to separation, okay, in a marriage. If they're not, that this doesn't mean you get involved with somebody else, or it doesn't mean that you go, try to marry somebody else or anything like that. He'll call spouses even to separation. Like, let's say you're in a domestic violence situation. The Lord can actually call you to separation until they get their head straight. Like, you could say, I'll be over here while you're over there. So you have to understand, it doesn't necessarily mean just if they're talking to somebody else. Common sense, whatever spirits are attached to them, that's why the Lord, He has separated you in this journey to separate you. Okay? So separation doesn't mean have sex and, be partially together. It's separation. Okay? So take this back to the Lord. This is just what He showed me and a lot of other people. But again, they have spirits. You don't know what they're doing. Okay? You don't know what spirits could be attached to them through soul ties. You don't know if, what's the word for it, what they got attached to them. And I'll tell you something right now. If they're in captivity from Satan, it's nothing good. So remember, separation from the Lord is protection. I want to emphasize that. Separation is protection. He's protecting you. Okay, this is why He created the divine separation. So again, take it back to the Lord. But we have to understand, and I remember one of my clients actually sent me a video on this. She was contemplating about the intimacy thing. And, we have to set boundaries. So something that I go on to teach a lot is we have to set boundaries in our situation. The Lord will give us so many opportunities to set boundaries, and a lot of us don't do it. So when we're not setting the boundaries with them, their spirit's never growing. So if they can have their cake and eat it too, let me ask you something. Would you ever change? Ask yourself that question. Would you ever change if you could have a cake and eat it too? No. So if you're showing them that you're setting boundaries and you're not doing it, not only are you showing them that you're not going to put up with it, okay, because remember, you're their helpmate. You're trying to help them do better, okay? A true husband or wife that's acting like it, okay, that's who you're supposed to submit to. You don't submit to somebody that isn't representing the fruits of the Spirit, okay? They're not being a husband. They're not being a leader. That's what you have to look at, is it's not the same thing. Again, take everything back to the Lord. This is just what He showed me and showed other people. So I hope that answers your question. Again, I hope everybody's having a good fast. I hope that everybody is doing the generational curse breaking and tearing down the demonic altars. I will be back on here in a little bit. But basically, all I want to say, guys, is truly stick this out, because the best is yet to come. This is a journey. That's exactly what it is a journey. And the Lord is training you and He's equipping you. Remember that. So, I hope everybody's having a beautiful, wonderful Friday. And if you haven't already, come on over to our Facebook group, Dead Marriages Redeemed. We have a wonderful support group. Beautiful people inside and out, truly supportive. I love each and every single one of them. Come on over. Dead Marriages Redeemed. And then if you haven't already, you can book a session with me, deadmarriagesredeemed@gmail.com. Go ahead and email me. We could set something up. I would love to work with you. The Lord wants me to do this full time and walk with each and every one of you to get through this, because we know it's a battle. All right, guys, I hope you all have a wonderful day. Oh, and you also can message me through the Facebook group if that's easier as well. And if you don't mind, guys, if you could please like the video. It helps me out big time. Reach as many people as possible. I really appreciate it. Thank you, guys. Have a beautiful day. Bye.